Hello, I'm Earl, and welcome to Speaking of Everything. With me, I have a very interesting guest in the program. He is not a stranger, but you don't see him often. He's here right now with me, Mr. Marvin Stunky Dollison. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Earl, how are you doing? Thanks for inviting me for this program. When I got a message from Tobias that Oral Gibbs is trying to get in contact with you, but at that time I was down in Curacao with a job for meetings and trainings.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's the reason why I didn't respond. But when I got back, then I reached back out to you, informing you, that I got information that you was trying to get in contact with me, and then it happened so that I told you when I was coming over to St. Martin, so. We set the dates that we can meet, and it was no problem.
So you left St. Martin. You no longer live in St. Martin.
Well,
you abandoned St. Martin. Man.
Duty calls. Duty calls. And like I always say, there's this song, this hymn, "Trust and Obey," right? And then there's a verse, the last verse, I believe it is. There's a line in it when he says, "Where He send, you will go." You understand? So I had that opportunity. That was a calling for me.
Yeah.
There was the vacancy in station, for a fire chief.
Yeah.
And the opportunity came when my boss here in St. Martin, Clive, and Mr. Paul Martins called me, and we sat down, we discussed it, and they explained me what is what. And when they told me, yes, it will be for 6 months, I like, okay, 6 months. But, immediately I said, you know what, I will have to discuss it with the family. But within myself, I like, hey, opportunity knocks, let me take it. And the next thing was 6 months, hurricane season, away from home. After Hurricane Lewis, I decided I'd not be off island during the hurricane season, But nevertheless, I decided to follow suit. I spoke with the family. They gave me the blessings, and they said, listen, this is something you love, and the opportunity comes, and we support you wholeheartedly. So, I took it up. I went over to Statia the 31st of March. I could recall that.
What year was that?
That was 2022.
Okay.
And the 1st of April, I had a meet and greet with the shift leaders over there. Most of them knew me because I trained them, but this is a different level now. So we sat down and we had breakfast, and we discussed, and they get to know me a bit more. And there were questions asked, when I come, what will I offer, And at that time, I was going on to 38 years in service, under my belt. So, yeah. And after that, we had a nice discussion. And I remember one of the gentlemen in the group, which is Mr. Maharaj, he turned in and said, Mr. Dollison, I hope you accept it, to come. So I said that leaves up to you all, because you all also have to let the General Fire Chief, Tace, knows whether, hey, you all feel comfortable having Dollison come over here. So the ball is in your court,
Yeah.
But he said, I hope you accept. And I came back to St. Martin, continued with the necessary arrangements, and after I got the word that I'm accepted, I had a day to travel, so I started packing, and I could recall on the 16th was a Monday, 15th Saturday, 13th Friday, the 12th of May, I set sail on that boat over to Statia.
So there you've been since that time?
Since that time. And when I arrived on the island, the same gentleman, Maharaj, he picked me up at the harbor. And when he greeted me greeted me, "Welcome, Chief." You know, and I like, so that's needed, but that's the way it is over there. Over there in Station too, when I'm driving, if I go to the supermarket or anything, the local folks, the regular folks, "Hey Chief, hey Chief," you know, I hardly hear anybody call me Marvin or Stunky or Dollison, you know, and at the fire station, it's Chief. You know, and sometimes I like
it's a very together little island. The people are really together.
Yes,
it's nice.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, I've been over there since, and
so you're the fire chief in Station for almost 2 years, or
almost 2 years. Yeah, May this year we'll make it 2 years. We'll make it 2 years, and then what happened is that the transition, you know, because the system over here in St. Martin is totally different than the system over with BKCN. BKCN is Brandweer Caribisch Nederland, right, which consists of Bonaire, Station, and Sable. So I'm part of the management team of BKCN, and their system is totally different. We have different meetings every month. So you will have, let's say, a management team meeting. You will have, let's say, a HR meeting. You will have a meeting like every Friday at 8:30. I have a one-on-one meeting with my boss, which is in Thijs. And then you will have the work, you know, meetings, and then the repressive overleg meetings. So it's different things. And as fire chief, you know, I'm responsible for everything within the fire department on Station. Even though you have somebody responsible for a certain section, but at the end of the day, final responsibilities lies on me. Spending, right? I am the one who will have to approve payments, you know, at certain amounts that is allotted to us as fire chief. When there's events on the island, advice has to be given from the fire department. So I'm also part of the task force, which consists of the police, fire department, the hygiene, and all of those different with the cabinet of the regeringscommissaris, right? And we are part of the task force. So what we do is once there's events coming up, like let's say the drag race, right now there's the Easter events coming up.
They have drag race still over there?
Motorbike race.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a big thing over in Station. There's a next one coming up in July. You know, so when the request comes in, they will send these to the fire department, police department, etc. for their advice, and we will give advice on them, and it's up to, you know, the final decision makers to go with our advice or deviate from our advice and things. But so you know, the responsibilities. Basically, I'm fully in charge of the security of Station when it comes to fire department wise and thing. And like I said, besides Station, when we have our management meeting, decisions that has to be made also for the 3 islands. So if there's a decision to, let's say, build a new fire station with this and with that and with that, you know, that each island has to have an input in it. Just a reference, you know. But okay. Like recently, there's a training going on for shift leaders, shift commanders, and Station has 2 candidates. But we, as the management team, had to sit down and make sure that there's a criteria that, you know, it don't end up where the candidates are favoritism, or the chief like this fellow, so that's why this one was chosen. No, what we did, we got an independent body out of Aruba. They came in, everybody had the opportunity to apply. So all those who apply, their names, the candidates, their names were sent on to this independent body where they had to do a test, an
to see who qualified,
who qualified. And once you're qualified, then you move on to the next step.
quite interesting.
So,
To make it very fair that no one could complain that it was right.
And what's so good about it is that, you know, everybody had the opportunity to apply. So if you did not apply, then you can't complain. You know.
Let me just let my viewers know, in case you've just joined us. This is Speaking of Everything. I'm speaking with Mr. Marvin Stunky Dollison. Stunky is a Calypso name that he uses all the time, but he's now the fire chief over in St. Eustatius, and he's my guest there on the program. You're also listening to us on Hot 99.9 FM radio station. So you're there, you're doing all this work. Station is what, the second largest out of the 3 islands in terms of fire department?
Well, with population, right? You have Bonaire, and then Station and Sabre is a smaller community.
Oh, okay.
One of the projects I started from last year, which was there for me to hit the ground running with, is the new fire station for Station. Bonaire has their new fire station. Sabre just recently, in December the 5th last year, they opened their new fire station. Station, we are busy, but last year in August, I believe it was, we hit the ground running, where we sat with different organizations, you know, to put together, brainstorm how the fire station will be built, you know, the materials, and seeing that you're in Station, the Caribbean and thing, we have to take in consideration like where the airport is, you know. Zealandia, that section there, that's the ocean. So you will be constantly dealing with salt blasts and all these kind of things. And also one of the things that we have stressed that when the station is built, that it has to look like a station something.
Oh, okay.
You know, not something from Europe and those kind of thing. And
so matching with the island.
Yes, and certain things from the island will be used constructing the building. You know, so Station will always have something there. This is Station. And then, so that is one of the projects that I started, and we continuing. We got very, very far with it right now. This the final decision on where it will be built, you know, because that was something that has to be taken into consideration, seeing that we are also responsible for the airport.
I was going to ask you that if you're separate from the airport, like St. Martin, or you're one.
It's one. Like how St. Martin used to be previously.
Right, yes, exactly.
That's the way it is. Right. So we deals with the airport and the city. So putting a new fire station, you have to take into consideration, yes, you know, responding to a house fire, the time can be a little more.
But time is important, though.
It is important. But like, let's say a house fire, you will have someone who probably will start throwing buckets of water. You got a smoke detector. You got fire extinguishers, you know, there, right? But with an aircraft, when that falls, you got 90% knockdown. You got to have 90% knockdown within, let's say, a minute and a half to 2. 90% knockdown, because it can take something like 3 minutes real fire for complete aircraft to burn out. And if you have people trapped inside. So it is very important, the location that you put your fire station,
close to the airport,
so that when something happens, you still can reach the furthest point of the airport runway under, let's say, a minute.
Oh, that's good.
A minute. You know, if you go to a minute and a half, it's still pretty all right. But remember, you will have a next minute and a half to get that knocked down in this kind of thing. You know, so
it's quite interesting.
Yeah, you know. So and there's quite some projects I did there also with portable pumps that I ordered, water bags. Yes, this, you know.
What are the water bags for?
Water bags, like, let's say, for instance, if there's a bushfire, and, you know, you got the quail, you got down Venus, Gilboa, if there's a bushfire and it goes up in the hills, that you won't be able to go there with a truck.
Okay.
Nor would you able to go there rolling out hoses. But the water bags carry something like 5 gallons of water. And with that, hot spots and thing, you can do. If it's a big blaze, it's impossible.
Yeah.
But let's say, for instance, you see a blaze starting, in order for it not to continue spreading to areas where it will be difficult to get to, those water bags, is very, very useful for that. And we also, we got that portable pump, we got station, and this is one of the projects I'm busy with also, the Blisswatervoorziening, which is the supply, water supply, when there's a fire on the island, because presently we got something like 45 fire hydrants on the island.
Yeah, that's good.
But there is the rules, right? There has to be within 100 meters from each other. Else you got problem with friction loss and all this kind of thing.
Okay.
So that is something I'm busy with also right now. So I just, before I came over, I got a confirmation because we were hoping to present it to the Executive Council in April. So I have to make that presentation showing them exactly how many hydrants we see is necessary, the areas that are necessary, because what we did also is divided the island like in 3 sections, the most dangerous, one after that, and the less, So we will make that presentation and our recommendations to the Executive Council. And also I have to get some information from Stuco, which is power company, water company. They are the ones responsible for placing hydrants.
I was quite impressed when I was over there a few years ago with the solar plant.
The solar plant, that's just behind the airport there. It is, and Saba also has one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was at both of them, and we are way behind when it comes to.
I don't know what's happening. But it's so with a water pump, like I mentioned, like if there's no hydrant or in the area close by, but there's a system that you cannot use the suction hose from the truck to suck. With this portable pump, you could just go there and you use that water and you send it to the truck. Because one of the most disappointing things in firefighting is to see you have dominated a fire. It's basically put out, and just at that time, you ran out of water. And it reignites. Yeah. Because a lot of people think that a fire truck make water. No. 1,300 liters of water depends on the pressure you're using in order to kill the fire. Within 2-3 minutes, that water finish. Well, and if there's no fire hydrant there to give you continuous support source of water, you're in trouble.
What about water pressure? Is that an issue? I don't know. That could be.
To tell you the truth, Orel, since I'm over there, right? My first incident that I tend to was someone was deceased in their home, and the fire department had to assist in getting the body out of the house. And because of my rank, Officier van Dienst, I carry that also. It's apart from being fire chief. Fire chief has its responsibilities, and Officier van Dienst have his responsibility. Officier van Dienst is more now when you're gone out into the field to delegate to thing. And once there is a body, a life, whether it's alive or deceased involved, they have to call me. And I went, and basically, I'm the one will be in charge of that operation and thing as Officier van Dienst. And then I got a call when there was some folks got injured up Gilboa, up in the hill. they went hiking, but the guys and them, they dealt with that. But because, again, there were people involved, our guys called it over there, even though I had no role, nothing to do, because these guys, they are well trained, but they just following protocol. And there was a next time they called for a fire down at the tourist office, but it was a small something. And then there was one with what are those things with them diesel for stucco, overturned on the boat, but there was no spillage. And there was a boat in distress. The police chief, he was off island, and he informed his staff to get in contact with me, which is the over there van de brandweer, to coordinate the situation should it be necessary.
So was it necessary?
No,
the
because
boat?
when I got down there, I was informed that the vessel in distress was more close up to Martinique. So I told them there's no need for us.
That's far from you,
for us to be here. So I got the opportunity to go back to bed.
And Martinique, they're well prepared.
Yes,
I mean, they're really well organized. Yeah. I've seen what they can do. The French have pumped a lot of money into that island and also Guadeloupe. So But so what your plans are? You gonna stay in Station? You gonna come back, or what your plans are?
No, how you say? Unfortunately, you and I share something in common. It's 40 years. You got 40 years in the business here with
this show,
right? And the 16th of July this year, I will be 40 years with the fire department. 40 years as a civil servant. 40 years serving the community of St. Martin. And part of it is Stacia. So in November, I will be going on retirement.
Well, so you can't like say, well, I'm going to hold on another year or two.
I mean, listen, I have some time back, and I got some vacation days that I have to take, which they're not paying out for them. Yeah. If they was paying for them, I would say, okay, no problem, you know. But I else I'll lose them.
Yeah.
So I will be going on retirement in November.
But when you look at all the things, I mean, I remember many years ago I had you on the show. And I don't know if you remember, I asked you about the name that you use because you're a well-known Calypsonian on St. Martin. Yeah. And you remember what you told me?
With the wrestler?
No, the Stunky.
Stunky. Yes, okay. I thought you mean where I got it from. Yeah. Because the name Stunky, it came from a German wrestler. Siegfried Stunky. So that's where I got it from, because he was a guy, he was just brutal when he go in the ring, just stamping in everybody. And if we sitting down in the house and look at that wrestling, right, nobody is on his side. Nobody like him. So I like him. So I used to be the only one, shouting for Stunky. And when I decided to, get into the Calypso, that's going to be the name I'm going to use, Stunky. And that's how it came about.
But you were a very light guy in Calypso. You wasn't like the wrestler guy.
With me, Orel, Calypso is my heart, and I love Calypso. I love to however I can contribute to Calypso in a positive sense, I want to contribute, And I've been following Calypso from the time I was a little boy growing up. Nothing wrong with the disco and all this kind of thing, but you can't take Calypso away from me. It's in my blood. Because of my job right now over there in Stacia, I haven't traveled to Trinidad. I had something like 20 years going to Trinidad.
Every January you used to go, right?
Whenever there's Carnival, right? Because, it varies. January, February, depends on how the Lenten season falls. So it will stop just before the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday. So I would go. The last time I was in Trinidad was 2020. That's just when COVID hit. And then after COVID, there was no carnival, and then when they had the next carnival, that was 2022. I was gearing up to go to station. And then 23, I was still in station. You know, now 24,
You're still
in
in
station. And, you know, so I had those years I didn't go.
But let me ask you, do the people in the station know that you also a Calypsonian?
Yes, I sang over there.
Oh, okay.
Last year for the carnival, right? This guy Marlon Hook, he organizes the carnival festivities over there.
Yeah.
And on that show was Jacko, Fish, Doe, Fox, what's her name?
The whole St. Martin gang was there, right?
Lady Ebony. Yeah. And I from St. Martin Station.
What's the fire chief was performing?
And that's the guy, Private Chivago Lopes. When he introduced me, ladies and gentlemen, fire chief of station, you know. And one of the things, so I go to church every Sunday, Bethel Methodist Church, and I'm very active there also in the church with the singing. The lady,
you know, station is dominated by Seventh-day Adventists.
Seventh-day Adventists, yeah. But
that's a dominant church.
Yes, but the Methodists still got their congregation. And there's this lady, Debbie Brown. One Sunday, she was the liturgist, I believe, and she's the one went and let them know. Yeah, fire chief, he's not only the fire chief, he's a singer and he can sing, and we're going to get him here to sing. And that same Sunday, I think it was, they had a Reverend Albert Rohan from St. Martin over there. And while coming out church now, he turned and he told Floyd Woodley, he sings good. He sings good. And then one Sunday, the fourth Sunday, they asked me, and that was it. That was it. And for the Easter and all of those things, they just have me with the concerts. Right now, when I go over for the Good Friday, last year, I had a family over there, so my daughter and me, we did a duet together for the Good Friday concert. And
yeah, how old is your daughter?
She going to be 40.
Oh, okay. Well,
I give her her age. You know,
she got killed.
You know. But you know, I'm very active in singing and in the choir at times and in the church over there. So you know, I'm very relaxed. Sometimes people will, boy, how you could live in station? How you could stay in station? It is not a problem to me. And
well, that's all right. I gotta come back to you. I gotta come back to you on that. In case you've just joined us. You're watching or you're listening to Speaking of Everything. I'm Earl Gibbs, and we're on YouTube, Facebook, on Hot 99.9 FM radio. My guest, you see him there, is Mr. Marvin Stunky Dollison. He's now Fire Chief over in St. Eustatius. When we come back, we'll continue to speak with him right here on Speaking of Everything. Please stay with us.
We are vibrant, expressive, warm, and diverse. Together, we conquer, and now we expand into new horizons, giving you more of the best. Introducing our new Bankomatico Plus with wider acceptance, purchase protection, and enhanced security. Whether you're online, traveling, or in paradise, experience more with Windward Island Bank. Bankomatico Plus, more of the best.
My guest here on Speaking of Everything is Mr. Marvin Stunky Dollison, and we're here speaking with him. You know, you've done so many things in your life. You know, you was talking about Station. I want to go back to that before I ask you some other questions. So, you said that people ask you how you can live in Station.
Yeah,
I think it's a cool island, man.
For me, it is not a problem, right? I just love it, and believe me, sometimes when I come over, as once a month, the job they pays for me to come over to St. Martin, right? If I want to come over more than that, then that's my own account.
Right.
If I don't feel like coming to St. Martin and I want a family member to come over, then they will pay that passage for the family member to come over. They got me in a house over there, you know, and they made sure that the accommodation that I get, it can accommodate family members when they come also.
That's
so
good.
you know, and okay, definitely, you know, I have a vehicle, which is the company's vehicle. One of the bad parts of it is that every day I'm on call. I'm on call. But we also have the ex-fire chief, Mr. Bennett.
Yeah.
There is an agreement with him that like when I'm off island, he cannot be off island.
Oh, okay. So one of you got to be on the
Because
island.
of the rank that we carry.
Yeah.
Even though he's no longer with the fire department, but they have that agreement.
Okay.
When he's off island, I can't. When I'm off, he can't.
Good.
But it happens to know that both of us are off island. So what I had to do, I had to make a request from Bonaire to send up an officer in our rank.
Oh.
Because from Sabre, we can't get that because there's only Julio there.
Oh.
You know? So so that's the present situation, that's how it is. But normally, like on the weekends too, when my family was over there, I told Bennett, I said, Bennett, my family's coming over. I want you to hold on the weekend for me. He said, no problem. So he held on the weekend for me. And then, but for me being over there in the station, it is not a problem. And Orel, let me tell you something, right? The only time I hear the sirens in the station is in the morning when they're testing them.
So it's very quiet. And
when they're testing the sirens, because where I stay is close to the airport, close to the fire station, walking distance from the airport and fire station. If I'm going into town, within a couple seconds, so I'm in town. When I come back here to St. Mary's, in the traffic, I got it.
Traffic crazy. Oh, man, I know.
There was one time I was going into town, and this person held up the traffic speaking to someone, you know, so I took out the phone and I did a little recording and I sent it in the family chat. I said, oh, you think station don't have traffic jams? Look, we got traffic jam here now. You know, but it's so nice being over there and and again, like I said,
what St. Martin used to be years ago.
Used to. So sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
So you finished with Calypso now? You're not going to do any... When you go on retirement, are you still going to perform in Calypso?
I am not saying I'm finished with Calypso, but you know, I will be back on stage. But I'm looking at like when they hit like if God spare my life, that 55 or something like that. You know, when it's a big something that, you know, and it will be nice like a Jacko and Genius, you know, once we got the health and strength, you know, to come back to bring those glory days, you know, to make it exciting and thing. But besides that, I will continue each and every Saturday. As you know, we have no Claret, join the gang.
Still got a radio show?
Yes.
Okay.
And what happened, Orel, is even though I'm over on station, I tune in every Saturday. And there's times I will get on...
What station that one is again?
That's on 1300 AM.
Oh, PG2, okay.
Right. Caribbean Classics, no?
Oh, okay.
And WhatsApp, you know, we will send the WhatsApp messages. So the nonsense that we just be talking and, you know, it still continues. So the folks still enjoy the program.
Yeah.
And now, like Claret, he's going to make 2 years in July with us. You know, because sometimes Tobias off island, I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. When I was over in station, Tobias had to leave the island, and that's when Claret, he filled in because all the time we harassing him, come, you know, and so that's how the team is now. And this year, the first Saturday in September, Caribbean Classics gonna turn 25.
Well, time go fast, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's amazing because when I started this radio station, 99.9 FM, I was not aware of how many people were still into Calypso. And I started playing some... Greg, before he died, was on the show many times.
Right.
And he gave me a few of his CDs.
Okay.
So we played all the Greg music and Genius and so forth. And man, I tell you, I was surprised there's a huge interest in St. Martin for Calypso.
Calypso. And that's the reason why on a Saturday, we are so dedicated to that program. Because St. Martin used to be Island of Calypso. I could recall some years down in Trinidad, God bless their soul, they both passed away, which is DeFosto and Singing Sandra. DeFosto had a Calypso called The Mecca. And he was singing, asking the question to Trinidad, because Trinidad, say, there's the Mecca of Calypso. And he said, is the Mecca of what? Have you ever been to St. Martin? 24 hours of Calypso. I was, wow. You know, I felt so good that the first, a Trinidad Calypsonian, had that in his song, asking the Trinidad population.
But that has changed now, St. Martin. You know, when it comes to radio. In fact, now a lot of other radio stations are copying 99.9 FM again now, since we are playing Calypso all year round, not just when it's carnival
season.
time. Yeah.
You know, they you know, sometimes they use Calypso like mangoes, cherry nuts, knips, because coconuts, you got it all year through. Right? But mangoes,
seasonal.
And these are seasonal, and that's the way they treat Calypso.
Yeah.
And Calypso, it is our thing. Calypso has been born on the plantations where our forefathers, they suffered on the sweat and tears and blood and things. They suffered, but yet they had that strength to chant the Calypso in order to send their messages and these, you know.
Yeah.
And it's something that we should cherish, but a lot of us prefer to go and, you know, cherish something that is not our own.
That's true. But by the way, we don't have any of your songs. You got to give us some of your songs.
You don't have no fear. You will get them. I'll give, because my daughter, she also got about two tunes and things.
I'll email them to
You're
us.
going to get them. Definite. You will get them.
But people say, oh, yeah, sitting talking to Stunky, but he ain't got his song. Well, I have him on the spot.
You're going to get him. You're going to get him.
But we've come a long way. I think St. Martin,
Thanks.
I could safely say, I think we're in like number 2, number 3 when it comes to Calypso in the Caribbean. Trinidad, Antigua, St. Martin.
Right
I may be
now-
wrong, but I don't know.
No, right now, when Carnival Tuesday, Ash Wednesday, by Ash Wednesday, you don't hear the Calypso like that in Trinidad. And it's not what I'm saying, it's what they're saying. There's only one radio station that plays Calypso every day, round the clock in Trinidad. There's a radio station down south. They're the only ones.
Yeah.
And they call themselves, we are culture crazy. Whack.
So,
We are
so they're
culture
playing
crazy.
Calypso all the time.
All the time.
Wow.
All the time. That's how, and you know, the others, you know, you could tune in and you're going to hear a lot of the same music you will be hearing here on majority of the radio stations and thing. And
That's really loud. Yeah.
yeah, you know, so that's it. But with us there, with Caribbean Classics, you know, it is something we continue. But we not only play Calypso all the time. There's certain times that when I'm on, you know, I will pick one of the times when I go into play. I'm not going into the Calypso. I will go back to the Draytons too. Errol Donaldson, Ken Booth, you know, Windy Aline, you know, the Spooge, and
nice.
the ska, the reggae, the Draytons too. You come here to drink milk, you know, and Jimmy Cliff, watch ya come and, you know, and Bob Marley, House of Exile, and when you play those, it, you know, there's certain music when you hear them play, it takes you back to the years when these were hits.
So that's why I was trying to figure out why people meet me all the time and tell me that they like listening to the music on Hot 99.9 FM. And it's because of what you just mentioned, the type of music we play. We got 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s U.S. music, but also old calypsos.
Yes.
And some people are surprised when they hear it.
Yep.
Because nobody wants to play them anymore.
True. Last Saturday day on the program, I played a song from Kitchener, 67.
He's good. We have a few of him.
You know, and when people hear, and it's not the first, so we play them often, but every now and again, you just got to dig down and bring them out. Take the folks back to those days.
We started to reminisce about how it used to be.
Yes.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
So you're set to do new things, I understand. So when you're going to retirement, you got some plans?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I got last week, last week Monday. I got a WhatsApp from my daughter. She said she did putting a agenda together of things for when I go on retirement. she put the schedule.
Put to the work already.
But you know, that's part of the fun. Yeah, but what I'm gonna do when I retire, you know, like I say, look and live.
Boy, you might be surprised. You might be surprised. Let me tell you why. I'm working harder now than I ever worked in my life.
You know, that's part of it. But the fact we do it because we love doing these things. And I have noticed quite a number of folks, from the time you stop them from doing what they love doing, that's it.
Yeah.
You let them continue until they decide to stop. You know.
Yeah.
But I will not be fighting fires any longer. But it's not that I'm just going to sit down and crawl up.
You ain't going to just sail off into the west.
No. I'm going to be around, and I will be keeping myself busy with things. And believe it, when I come over on family visit, that's one of the things that I normally do. I started adjusting myself for not having to go into work and things.
Yeah.
It was in December that people like, but Stunky, I never saw you with a beard. You know, I came over the 14th and I had about a month.
So you had a beard?
Yes, because as fireman, you're not allowed.
Okay.
You can't carry a beard because if you have the hair in your face when you put on the breathing apparatus mask, it's not fitting, right? So, you know, smoke and gases could get in there and, you know. So I said, let me start growing out and see how I'm going to look. And I was surprised that I was told by the family they look good. You know, so I feel good. I feel good.
That's good.
I went to the barber Saturday. Actually, I was going to wait until tomorrow, the day before I go back to shave. But because of coming on the program, I said, let me nice up the day. Let me come. Yeah, but that's how it's going to be.
That's good.
Yeah,
and it's always a pleasure having you, man. This was like, your fifth time on the show. Always great.
Yeah.
I hope you can come back again, though, when everything... Right.
Once you send the invitation, you got my number. You send that WhatsApp number and thing, and hey, you know, once I got the health and the strength, you know, give the Creator thanks for allowing me to be able to be here still, and you send the invitation. I can be here. If you notice, you told me I come down here for 9. Look the time I got down here. Right?
But let me ask, you got to say something to your fans, man. They want to know if you're gonna still someday play again. Perform in Calypso.
Like I said, that possibility.
You said at a big event, it got like 55, 60. They want to see you, man.
Hopefully.
Put you in the spot.
You want me to go before my...
They want to see you in 2025.
We got some could happen.
All right. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate that.
It is my pleasure.
Thanks.
My pleasure.
My guest on the program was Mr. Marvin Stunky Dollison. He's now the fire chief over St. Eustatius, and he's one of the great Calypsonians here from St. Martin. And I'll see you next time on YouTube, Facebook, and Hot 99.9 FM radio. Take care. Bye.